The 3 billion heartbeat idea. The idea is that most mammals, I've even seen 1.5, but what I'm mostly seeing is 3 billion. All mammals, doesn't matter regardless the size of them, so elephant and rats, for example, we all have, and humans obviously, we all have about 3 billion heartbeats. Elephants live longer, they have slower heartbeats, and rats, for example, they live very short lives, but they have much faster heart rates. But overall, in average, obviously it has to be on average, all mammals have around 3 billion heartbeats. Some have more, some have less. But based on that assumption, or based on that idea, we can build a lot on it. For example, one extrapolation could be that if we use more heartbeats in some way, we overuse the system and we might die younger. I did heard about the idea that if you run, for example, if you do exercise, you will make your life shorter. That's in the form of a question. But the answer for that was, it's not mine. That's what I heard. That because you're running and because you're exercising, you're lowering your rest heartbeat. So overall you would be, so instead of, let's say your rest heartbeat was 70, you would lower it to 60, and then it's gonna balance itself out. But it is known, again, it's what I heard, it is known that athletes and people that really use their heart a lot do die younger for whatever reason. So that's another thing that should be taken into account. Another extrapolation could be that many fun stuff are actually things that take more heartbeat in some way. A good metaphor would that be like a surge. You have, for example, in Uber, when there is a high demand, there is a surge. There is 2-3 times the normal rate. So when you do fun stuff, you're running, people like exercising, sex, eating sugar even raises your heartbeats, and many things. Not everything fun obviously would do that, but many fun things actually use more heartbeats than usual, and in some way you're paying for it. It's a surge. You pay more for those fun, with air quotes, fun times. You actually pay a higher price. You can do a calculation, and it also goes quite well. If you're doing, like I think the average is about 60-70 heartbeats, I think you get to around age of 80. And based on that, it's interesting to see like how much do you waste in some way, on how you're wasting your heartbeats. Because, for example, anxious, if you have anxiety, for example, could be one of the reasons. That's another possible extrapolation, is that if you're anxious a lot and your heartbeats run fast for whatever reason, and many other reasons, so it could be many things that makes you anxious and your heartbeat goes faster, that's not good, and you might die for a variety of complication. It's not necessarily the heart stops after 3 billion or whatever. On average, it's many things that start happening on the way. One of the problems, though, when thinking about it, is that there is also the idea of using too much, too little. In some way, you can make your cardio could help, and how much is the right way? What's the balance in some way? Because you don't want to use too much, you don't want to use too little, because then your heart is not strong enough. Even if you lay down all day, this is also not good for you, even though your heartbeat is quite low, could be, I don't know, 40, 50. What about then? It's also not good for you, because then your heart gets a little too weak. So we have to find this balance where your heart is not working too much, you're not wasting too many, and it's not too little, where your heart gets some muscle atrophy. So there's a lot to go in there, but that's the main idea. There's probably much more to talk about it, but it's something to think about. Again, I don't think it's like it's written in stone, as they say, but it's something fun to think about. Thank you.